Cool. So that's that. Let's do some questions. Okay, Katie, if you keep commenting on blogs, pushing your website, does it become spammy, and do people get tired of seeing you? So I can really only answer that from the SEO point of view, which is what you're doing is good, right? It doesn't, I feel like I'm just completely judging you, but I feel like you wouldn't be pissing people off that much. In general, from a general rule of thumb, the second link you get on a site is less valuable than the first, and the third link you get is less valuable than the second, right? In general, when you're talking about blog comments. But don't forget about traffic. I mean, if you're, the people clicking on the links coming to your site, it can be a great source of traffic, especially if you're contributing to the conversation. But what you've just pointed out happens to everyone, and it happens to me as well. And my solution was to create a couple of pieces of content that I can always refer back to over and over again. So rather than like, hey, great article, thanks for that, clickminded.com, I created a couple of things that are always beneficial. So I have this SEO checklist, right, which is free tools and guides, the SEO checklist. So this is just like a big checklist that every time you launch a new site, you should use this, right? And it's like a big list of things that you can do, and people love that. And I feel like I've been able to weave this into a comment over and over and over again. So rather than say, clickminded.com does this, I say, nice post, by the way, if you're launching a new site, here's an SEO checklist. And when you do something like this and you're linking to something that's pretty good, moderators always approve it too. So if you have, the other thing is I have case studies up here, and sometimes I try and find ways to weave them in, like, make it interesting. So rather than just making it very promotional, I kind of, not pretend, but I offer something that people might benefit from. So if you're worried about exhausting that a little bit, I would recommend pointing those people to something that's really cool, like a sweet infographic or a list of resources, something like that. And maybe it'll clear your guilty conscience of over commenting. But it sounds to me like you're fine. I wouldn't worry about it that much. But everyone has to deal with that, for sure. Barca, am I pronouncing that right? Does cross-linking within your site help in SEO? So on the same domain, linking to each other? Yes, it does. It's very helpful. So that's called internal linking. In general, it's less beneficial than external links pointing in, right? So if I have a site, if this is my site and a site over here is linking to me with apples, right? And I'm linking with apples, it's probably going to benefit the external sites more because of webmaster manipulation. But yeah, Google's looking at the links of your site as a clue to what that content is about. So you always want to be linking with your keywords and not generic phrases like click here or this website or try this or link. You usually want to be as descriptive as you can. Cool? How valuable are Twitter and Facebook links for SEO compared to blog comments? Debian? Did I get that right? Debian. Sorry, man. That is a badass Twitter picture. Look at this guy. What a boss. Oh, yeah. All right. Men in Black over here. Nice. How valuable are Twitter and Facebook links for SEO compared to blog comments? That's a really good question. They're definitely not apples to apples. So social media signals are really, really good. You want a lot of them. You want them to be relevant and you want them to be natural. But in general, getting something to go viral is more beneficial than blog comments. The tricky part is you'd almost never be able to say which one would do better. It's all contextual. It's all dependent upon your situation, right? So, and the other thing is that you'd never want to only do one kind of link building either, right? So you don't, if you have 100 links and all 100 links are blog comments, that looks unnatural. If you have 100 links and all 100 links are Twitter links, that's not good either. You want a healthy mix of everything. Why does Google disregard donate for links link building? This seems like a win-win strategy, right? So it is totally cool to be linking to anyone you have an offline relationship with. If you're linking to your customers, if you're linking to people you do business with, all this kind of stuff, that's totally fine. As a nonprofit, linking to your donors, that's very natural, right? What's unnatural is, hey, website, use this text and link to us and we'll give you money for it, right? So could Google penalize a nonprofit for doing this? Possibly. Would they? Probably not. So it makes sense in the offline world, so people are letting it go. But yeah, I mean, it could get to a point where there's a big scandal where like American Red Cross is hoarding millions of dollars for links. That it could happen. But for now, a lot of people say, yeah, find a relevant charity in your area, donate to them, and get links. And again, all of these tactics are just a couple of tactics among a sea of millions of tactics, right? So there's a lot to do. Adam, I have a really niche blog. If I start optimizing for more general keywords, will my niche keywords suffer? I wouldn't think about keywords in that way. It's not like I have niche keywords and I have broad keywords and I can pick one or the other. You can optimize, because you think about it, when you're writing all this content, you're optimizing for a couple of keywords, but you're accidentally optimizing for every other word you've written. Each page is its own entity, you know. So it's not like you'd start optimizing for a broad keyword on another page and that would hurt you on work you've previously done. I'm a huge fan of experimentation. So if you want to give it a test shot, write a new post and give it a test shot. I'm totally cool with that strategy. I don't think you'd suffer. How do we get rid of poor backlinks that reduce quality score? So bad links pointing to your site? Yeah. I think we covered that in the last one, but we can go through it again. There's a couple different ways to do it. The first is to just email the webmaster and say, that didn't work. So the next, is it pointing to a page on your site or the root domain?
Page.
A page on your site. So there's one really interesting way to go about it. People have nicknamed it SEO amputation, where you just delete the page. So if you've acquired a lot of bad links, you can't delete the page. If I have website.com/page and I've hired a bunch of outsourcers to build links to that page and they've done a really bad job, you can just delete the page.
What if it's pointing directly to the domain?
Right. So the other things to think about is over time, all links diminish in value. So if you wait it out, maybe you could be okay. The other thing to think about is the percentage of good links to bad links. So if I have 5 bad links and 20 good links this month, and then 5 bad links and 50 good links next month, it's going to be weighted down a little bit. And then the last option is if you're just totally screwed and you don't know what to do, you can set up an entirely new domain. You set up a 301 redirect on your old domain, pointing it to the new domain, and about 50% of the time that works. You can find a lot of case studies online. Some people say it works, some people...
Like I was checking the net, some people say that poor bad links do not have any effect on the search rankings. Is that true?
More bad links?
Like poor bad links do not have any effect on the search rankings. Is that true?
So it's super controversial right now because of the Penguin update, which just happened not even a month ago. But it's basically, Matt Cutts and Google came out and said, we're going to start, in the past they said, lots of bad links just don't hurt you. They're just null, they're not worth anything. And now they're starting to say, lots of manipulative bad links do hurt you if it's done too much. It's really controversial because it's they think it's going to create an entire industry called negative SEO.
Yeah,
right? Where I look at my competitors, I pay someone $20 to build 10,000 spammy links to my competitors. Yeah. And it's really controversial now because it's a new update. And a lot of people especially big companies, are really worried about it too. Mine included. So look into it because the whole industry is talking about it right now. There's when the update first hit in April, there was this forum on Webmaster World that was like 25 pages long of just people being like, "Oh my God, I'm screwed. What's going on?" Blah blah blah. So it's worth looking into. But yeah, they can hurt.